In this video, I'll be answering this question. I'm not going to say that whole phrase, but I'll say pizza stuff to refer to that, just because there's all these AI overlords going around trying to scrub the internet of wrongthink, Ministry of Truth style. So you got to be careful about the way that you talk about stuff on the internet, and that's part of the issue. That's part of the answer to this. But this is also wondering, hey, who's going to come apologize to us and say, yeah, you were right. You know, those conspiracy people were right again. And of course, I don't consider myself a conspiracy theorist just because that's like a CIA term, so that normies immediately will not even pay attention to stuff just because it has that word associated with it. I'm a free thinker. I believe in freedom of thought. I think everybody should decide for themselves what they believe. And of course, I believe that people do conspire, and especially those with power conspire over the plebs. So yeah, I think it's crazy what they can do to brainwash people, where there's just like a trigger word. But everybody should know that people conspire, and especially people, evil people, especially people with power who can conspire and have personal gain to get from it. And it's bigger than that too. These people are satanic minions. That's another big part of this video, that the spiritual battle is real, and these people literally are satanic and evil. Like, that's why it gets this crazy. And that's part of how they can get away with it, is that they know a lot of people are very naive and have like a very naive perspective on life, and they think, oh, people are mostly nice and bad stuff doesn't happen. And that's actually part of how evil people can get away with it. They know that what they're doing is so over the top evil that most people, they can't even bear to consider that it would be the truth. And these people are filled with demonic spirits in the same way that we as followers of Jesus can have the Holy Spirit. Well, these people are literally infested with demons and demonic spirits and demonic entities, and that's why they can get to this level of evil. Well, so let's answer this question and just go through the slides. I want to do more frequent videos, so who knows, I could talk more about it later. I have no idea how heavily this topic's being censored right now, but we're here to accept any of your apologies from normies who refuse to believe anything scary, conspiracy. It's actually out there, whether it's too scary of a thought for you or not. These people really are out there doing the things, doing the horrible pedo things. That's real. It's real. And of course, they muddied the water. I mean, there's so much that you could learn from the way that this pizza stuff unfolded. There was the initial leak of information, and then just so much, the QAnon BS was all to muddy the waters and to make people not believe in this, because they link this up with even more crazier things. And so yeah, where are the pizza stuff folks now? Well, they were banned many times over for just sharing proof, even on subs, like conspiracy subs, even on conspiracy subs on Reddit, you would be banned for showing anything about this. The internet has been scrubbed. You can't even find stuff anymore. When this first leaked, it really showed how comfortable these people had gotten. They were freely sharing all of this stuff all over their Instagrams, and it was disgusting. It was real. I was there. I saw it. It wasn't just coincidence. It wasn't just it's not political. This is bigger than red versus blue. All of these people at the top are involved in this stuff. And if they're not directly involved, they're complicit in covering it up because they know about it. They know it happens. And it's a spiritual battle. So you can pause and read this. Why can't trust the news to post about this stuff? I don't know. I would be very surprised if news stations were actually showing real email leaks and talking about the pizza stuff. A new one, grape soda, keeps getting thrown around in these emails, talking about lemonade, etc. I'd be very surprised if the major media outlets are talking about this stuff. Where do you actually see leaks? So we hear about the leaks. Who's actually going through them and pointing out the incriminating ones? Random people on Reddit who are probably going to get banned, and then they're going to scrub it. So this is how they operate. It's good to see how they operate with bringing in their own BS like QAnon, and then censorship, censoring, deny, censor, delete. And they do have the power to do that, not completely, but enough so that most normies are never exposed to any real truth, and they only get their information filtered through the TV or whatever. People try to make it political. Oh, why aren't the Trump people talking about the leaks right now, but they were talking about the pizza stuff in Times Square? They're all in on it together. It's not political. It's a leak that happened. Who knows why? I mean, it says in the Bible that all truths will come to light. And so I think it's just a part of that. And who knows, maybe at some level there's someone with a conscience, someone that follows Jesus that knew that the truth had to come out. And maybe they're the initial leaks, and then the powers that be have to try to get ahead of it. They got to muddy the waters. Who knows exactly how this stuff works out, but it's said in the Bible that all truths are going to come out, and that's why these people, they couldn't get away with it forever. And who knows, maybe in the past, maybe this is really what happened with the French Revolution and stuff. Maybe they found out that they were eating babies and doing all this nasty stuff, and maybe that's why they faked the... That's still one of my favorite fake history topics that not enough people know about. They were using wax models. Madame Tussauds was heavily involved with the French Revolution. Anyways. Yeah, Lemur Memer, I'm with you. We knew about this a decade ago, so let us know that you're sorry for denying the reality of the situation. This person talks about being deep into it, but then there's just so much disinformation being thrown in. It's hard to sift through. That's part of their MO. That's part of how they muddy the waters. They start flooding with QAnon stuff, and then they get all their goons to go out and pretend like the QAnon stuff is the most important. And clearly, the evidence was there for anyone who wanted to go look for it. But they do a pretty good job muddying the waters. This was some weird thing. I don't know, like somebody took over. I don't know if somebody hacked into one of the pizza companies that was in the leak, but this was weird. And it reminded me, Nancy Pelosi has had some weird pizza place in San Francisco. I remember that. I liked this. Okay, now I'm questioning the moon landing. Yeah, they, in the same way that the media will come and say, no, this pizza stuff is fake, when it's clearly real, they are just lying gaslighters. And now you should question the moon landing. Now you should question whether planes always did this and then it got messy and covered the whole sky. No, it didn't always do that. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. This is just a verse everybody should know because it's just a truth about this place. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. You know, we, in our mind, I feel like we think of the most evil people as like Hitler or Genghis Khan, these like warlords that are getting up an army and taking over places, when in reality, the evil people are doing all sorts of sex trafficking and, yes, pedo, satanic rituals. They're involved with the artsy-fartsy people, but in a satanic way. They're really much dopier and less strong and powerful as you might think. And really, they get their power through they just have an evil coalition, and they all cover each other up. Hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. All of that stuff, it's a pact that they take. That they just decide, hey, we're team evil, we're going to do all this evil stuff, and we just don't rat on one another. That's how they operate fundamentally. Wherein in times past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. These people are literally running under satanic spiritual influences. That's how it gets this depraved. That's how they are this sick. The types of things that have been released about in the emails and the extent of the sexual stuff, that's real, and it's really evil. It's really demonic. It's the people that are rich, they're not just the rich, powerful people, they're not just like getting off on money. It's so much more evil than that. They literally are doing the most heinous evil acts. It's where and this is nothing new too. The tales of vampires and people, who knows, maybe they live for a long time because they're doing all the weird alchemy with the baby eating and stuff, and using demonic forces to extend their life. And not just vampires, they joke about it. You know how there's a little bit of truth? Like, what makes a joke actually funny when there's some truth to it? If you know about one of the most famous, it's like an inside joke for comics. I would say the most famous inside joke for comics is the Aristocrats. And the whole punchline of the Aristocrats is that all you do is you just sit there and you list off the most depraved things that you could ever possibly imagine. And the punchline is that they're the aristocrats. How is that even a joke unless it's based off of, the reason it's funny is because it's true. The aristocrats out there are doing the most depraved things behind the scenes that you could ever imagine. And they're doing it worse than that because they're literally operating on demonic spiritual influences. This is the demonic battle that's happening. And, you know, some of it gets leaked. They turn it into a political thing. It's not political. It's literally Satan's minions run this place right now. And that's why we're waiting for Jesus to come back in this place to be cleansed with fire. It also answers the problem of evil. I mean, there is the whole notion of, yeah, we have free will, so humans can do evil things. But no, why does such horrific levels of evil and suffering exist on Earth? It's because Satan's minions are walking to and fro, causing all of this havoc. You know, not all of it. Yes, there is that little bit of humans. We have sin. We all come short. But there's so much more than that. People really struggle with the problem of evil. The fact with how much evil and depravity is on this earth and all the suffering and all of that. It's because literally Satan's minions, people that are literally demonically influenced, are the ones on this earth that have power. But Jesus is going to come back soon, cleanse this place with fire. New Jerusalem will come down. It'll just be an afterthought, these freaks. So this is what they get in this life. And we get ours in heaven. So God bless everyone.